The connection between the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, and the national data roadmaps is in the nature of the data itself. It's from the very beginning, when people started talking about the new goals and what was going to be needed to actually make them happen by governments, by private sector and others, people realised that we were going to need much better data to allow governments to plan where to put their money, to allow companies to make decisions, to allow civil society to hold their governments to account. And in many cases, for many things, the data that we had just isn't good enough. So the national data roadmaps are just one of the ways that many people are using to try to improve the quality of the data that we have, so that it's going to be enough, we're going to have enough data and it's going to be high enough quality to be able to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. So as more and more people have started to want to improve the quality of the data that we have, to make more data available to more people and more quickly, we've come to realise that many different kinds of organisations are going to have to be involved to make that happen. It's not just governments that collect data anymore. The private sector, for example, is collecting huge amounts of data. All the things that we think of as big data, geospatial data, the most exciting and innovative developments in data are mainly happening in the private sector. Civil society organisations are increasingly wanting to produce their own data, wanting to understand the data that's produced by other people. So the world of data is getting bigger, it's getting more complicated, and there are more and more different kinds of institutions involved. And that's why there has to be something like a multi-stakeholder partnership to bring all those groups together and really make the most of the huge amounts of data that the world is producing every day. I've been working on this issue of data and trying to improve data to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals for about 3 years now. And at the very beginning, one of the first things that was obvious was that there was no place, there was no institution or organisation where all of the different actors involved in data, the different companies that produce data, the governments and statisticians who need to make sure that that data is of high quality, where everybody involved in data could come together, share experiences, share ideas, negotiate between themselves on standards and principles, and try things out in an atmosphere of trust and, where everybody's interests could be represented. That place simply didn't exist. And now I'm pleased to say, thanks to the global partnership, it does exist.